We're gonna talk about regrets, man. Let me cut y'all. Let me show people where we at. 41st and what?
41st and Lake Park.
41st and Lake Park.
This area is really coming up.
Well, you know, if you know, later on they're gonna see in October we're gonna figure out if Chicago gets the Olympics.
Right.
If Chicago gets the Olympics, it's on here.
Well, I mean, it's so close to the Olympics.
Right. I mean, it's right off the lakefront. You know, it's really. I hope people, because I'm moving too fast. I know I'm moving too fast.
They just built a new beach over here at 30 or 40.
41st, right?
41st Street Beach.
But you know, let's see. People think. I like demystifying all this stuff. See, look, we got enough room. Wait. Like that. Whoa, I can't see. Yeah. That'll work. That'll work. Here we is.
Right, he been hearing Mark's voice in the background.
No, because some people don't like the format, because some people have seen me for years. They say, I liked it better when you was in the studio. Well, times have changed, because, you know, what happened was I would give bus fare and little donations to the people that would help me out. They got expensive.
Right.
So I said, instead of giving people donations to help me out doing the show, give them some bus fare or whatever, I put that money to buy a camera. That's what I did. That's $300 right there. Then the next year I bought a computer. That was maybe $800, whatever, right? So now I do the show at home. The people don't like the show at home, but guess what? I lose an audience that like the studio stuff, but I bring a new audience. Then there's YouTube, Yahoo Video. My videos are like, you know, stuff you've been on there, they're public domain. I see my stuff on UK this and that, and it's all over the world. So although I've lost some of my public access show, it's not really a public access show anymore.
Right.
It's a computer show.
Right, planetary.
You know, I'll go back in the studio and do some things in the studio every once in a while. I'm there one or two.
And you reach more people. I mean, I was surprised to find out that some of my shows that I've done with you through Viewpoint and some that I've done Talk to Success.
No, when we do the shows here, these are Mark's in Chicago, you know that.
Mark's in Chicago.
Oh yeah, because you know, it's, when I do the political stuff, I try to keep that
Viewpoint Chicago.
But so I said, I'm gonna put all the videos up.
Okay.
No, when I do the political stuff, which I'm trying to get away from, but it's hard for me to do it because it's in me. I try to call those shows Viewpoint. I try. And then when I do the more motivational stuff, which I've been doing for years, I try to call that Viewpoint Chicago.
Well, you know,
Mark Sim Chicago.
I'm
egotistical,
I'm
you know.
To do like you.
Born in August, just like this guy.
I'm gonna have to set up a couple different YouTube channels. I got Talk to Success.
Right.
And then I can set up one where it be exclusively doing things with the portable, and maybe one dealing with the internet marketing and the internet marketing, affiliate marketing.
Let me ask you something. I mean, 10 years ago, look at back where you were 10 years ago and where you are now. Renald Tatum, do you have any regrets?
No, I have to be honest about that.
No, you don't say if I could have, would have, should have.
I tossed in terms. But see, one thing I understand is that yesterday is history.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a mystery. And today is all we have.
Yes.
So I can't get in a time machine and go back and redo anything. I don't want to go back and be 21, because if I went back in about 20 and would be 21, I wouldn't have that other 38 years of experience.
Yeah, I mean,
because if you go back to 21, unless you can go back and be 21 with the information you got in your brain now, then it wouldn't be any use to go back and be 21. You got to start all over again.
And it really doesn't matter, because the only moment that matters is now. The only matter this is now. This is it.
I mean,
the power of now.
You asked a question, you know.
But I'm being philosophical. Yeah.
I mean, regrets may pop up from time to time, but I'm not going to dwell on the regrets, because the bottom line is I can't change anything that I've done in the past, but I can change it in the now.
I'm guilty of it. I think of many of our viewers, they're guilty. They still think about stuff like I think about stuff that happened to me in 1972 when I was in grammar school. I ain't got over it yet. Still mad at them people. You know what I'm saying? But I know you okay. You ain't mad at nobody. You let it go. Okay. Some of y'all have let it go, but there's some people out here who watch the show have not let it go. They were abused as a kid. They were people mean to them in grammar school.
Well, that's a totally.
I mean, what I'm saying, it's hard. But people need to let it go. I need to let it go. We all need to let it go.
But most people don't know about the law of forgiveness. And the benefit of forgiveness is for the forgiver, which is you. If you've been harmed, you've been hurt, you've been crushed, somebody did you wrong, you know, if you forgive them, then you benefit from that, because you let it go and you let go of that baggage. And the law of cause and effect will deal with them for whatever harm or abuse or neglect that they committed on you. So you let the universe do what the universe does, you do what you do, which is to move into forgiveness. That's another lesson for another time. It's hard
Well,
for
let me
people to
ask
say
you
because they say,
something
"Oh, I never forgive them."
Yeah. But let me tell you, should we forgive ourselves?
Well, that's in teaching the lesson, the law of forgiveness. Oftentimes, I found the hardest thing to do is to forgive yourself because you got regrets connected with
Yes.
it, and you keep saying, if I, like you said, if I shoulda,
If I
coulda,
coulda,
woulda,
woulda, shoulda.
shoulda, and all that,
All
and
that.
there's nothing you can do about that. It's done.
Yeah, no.
What you can do is learn from that, move forward. If you can learn to forgive yourself for what you've done and not do it again, and do something different to get a different outcome, then you start appreciating yourself more, you start loving yourself more, you start caring about yourself more, you start taking care of yourself more. And that's not being selfish. You got to take care of yourself first, and then all the things around you. The better you get, the better the things around you get.
That's one good thing about this so-called, whether you believe in the recession or not is irrelevant, whether you accept it or not. The recession depressions, one good thing about it is teaching people. It's humbling people. Folks that were so into the material, they probably got half the material wealth now. So it's teaching them what's really important. And what's really important is not the wealth per se, it's the now. That's all that's important is the now. It's
Right,
not your trinkets, it's not your car.
We woke up
It's
this
the now.
morning. We out here doing a video to
Right.
help people and share our own personal
Entertaining,
experience,
inspiration,
and we could be at AR Leak somewhere.
We'll tell people this is
Where AR
this is an
Leaks-
international audience. here.
International AR Leaks is you could be at any funeral director's
AR Leaks is a funeral
facility,
home, yeah.
not living and breathing and living in the now. You know,
Burr Oak,
you're now.
Burr Oak. And if you look up Burr Oak and you know what happened in
if you,
Chicago about Burr
if
Oak
you,
Cemetery.
If you're not from the Chicagoland area, there's funeral directors everywhere. I mean, guy was telling, I said, why do you put all those big high fences around the cemetery? He said, well, man, the people died to get in. I said, oh, that's real funny,
But we really do have to, we don't appreciate it. I mean, because I get caught up into, I wish I was a multi-millionaire. I always say when I win the lottery, I want to come down here in this little area. And because it's right, I always want to live right off the lake. You live right off the lake. And life is good, but it's hard for us to really to be in the present moment and really say, wow, I may not be a multi-millionaire. I may not have traveled the world. I've been divorced and been single for 10 years. But you know what? Life is phenomenal. This is great. This is wonderful.
For a lot of people that have financial dilemmas, when you think about it, having healthy, harmonious relationships with your friends and family, loved ones, your wife, your children, having good health, being able to have a sense of freedom, you can't put a price tag on those things. What happens is, and there are people on the planet that have the best of both worlds, many of them have obtained financial success and financial security only to lose it, to get a greater understanding of those things that really matter the most. I think Goethe said, never let the things that matter the most be at the mercy of the things that matter the least. And that's what happens oftentimes. People have to take a fall before they get a reality check and really put some real value on what the most valuable things in life are. Now, what happens is, if you ever come to a place in your life where you've got some of the things that I mentioned, and then you have some money, man, you got the best of both worlds. But to be a Michael Jackson or a John Belushi and Lenny Bias, and I can name all these people that came into fortunes, large sums of money, but they didn't have any inner peace, any happiness, and everybody was after them for what they had. If you get a whole lot of money, if you win the lottery tomorrow, I suggest this. Go to CVS or Walgreens and buy some gauze and wrap your face up like the mummy. And when you go get that check, don't let nobody see who you are. Because people will be after you with get rich quick schemes, and
be careful
they need some money.
Be careful what you wish for.
So it's nothing wrong with preparing yourself to have wealth.
See, this is the thing. I'm sorry, cutting you off. It's the thing about prosperity. Even if you're not 100,000 there or a millionaire, man, life is still phenomenal. You can get on an airplane if you live in it's a low-cost carrier here. You know the name of it. Here in Chicago, flies around everywhere but Atlanta, it seems like. But you can go fly coast to coast for less than $100.